For its time, the chin ramp was the best possible ramp you could ever skate.
It was a monolith. It looked crazy.
Extensions, channels, a spine.
It's extremely iconic. It's this huge beast of a ramp.
Came back 2 weeks later, it was gone. The whole ramp was gone. It was terrible, terrible.
"30 years ago, this was just an empty field surrounded by nothing, but today there's this bike path, otherwise nondescript, except for the fact that there's this mysterious X right in the middle of it, which ironically marks exactly the spot where the Untitled Chin ramp was built in 1986. In 1986, as a 18-year-old photographer, Grant Britton at Transworld gave me my first assignment. He says, go out to the middle of this field for a week and shoot photos of a ramp being built. Here on site, there were no blueprints that anybody was working off of, so clearly Stacy and the guys had a lot of trust in the ramp builder, Tim Payne, to build something that was going to be monumental, which clearly he succeeded in doing.
The first time I heard anything about the project was when Lance Mountain approached me in St. Louis. We had built a vert ramp there, and he came up and told me, hey, we want you to be a part of this project, and you can't tell anybody anything about it. And so I'm like, okay, what's going on? He's like, don't worry about it.
All I know is Stacy called us one day and was like, listen, we want to make this ramp that nobody's ever made before. We want to get your input. What do you want, McGill? What do you want, Hawk? What do you want?
You know, they said, what is the mecca? Like, what is the end goal here? And it was like, well, let's build the craziest ramp that's ever existed.
At the time, ramps were 24 feet wide. It was like, what about this just doing something that would just be like visually like impressive?
You know, it's got to have extensions, it's got to have a channel, escalator, I mean, you name it. Anything that a vert ramp in the mid-'80s had, we wanted to put it all in this one super ramp.
We wanted the ramp to have a lot of variety on it, and it was so just classic how fast it happened. Like, everybody walked away in 10 minutes being like, this is it, we're stoked, you know.
We weren't builders, we didn't know how it worked, we just wanted it, you know. Poor Tim, like, how much pressure was on him to make this the best ramp in the world at the time? For Tim to like take all of our crazy creativity ideas and try to make something of it that would be special is amazing. This is gonna be the ultimate ramp, you know that, don't you?
I definitely know that. I was like, I ain't building that thing. I can't build it. That's too big of a project. I mean, I can have ideas, I have built, I've done that stuff.
Well, we had a couple of hired hands, and Lance Mountain was on the crew, and he worked every day.
For me, the really interesting thing was seeing how the ramp was created. I mean, from a piece of scrap lumber and a Sharpie drawing, and Tim Payne looking at the drawing, walking away, building a section, coming back, looking at the drawing again for a few minutes, and then it was just this back and forth, and the ramp just boom, 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 boom. It was amazing.
I remember going to the site when they were building it and just being blown away by how big it was, and also the fact they had no permission to do it there. That was insane. That would never happen today.
It was pretty cool that it was kept quiet. Like, there's so many vert ramps were in that area. You know, people would have killed to skate that ramp.
First time seeing it is just pretty unbelievable because at that time there hadn't been anything created of that size and as well as that style. The vert spine ramp, I'd never seen that. I don't think it's ever been done ever. It was pretty intimidating, that's for sure.
I mean, instantly I was like, okay, spine was a terrible idea, but it had things to try.
The spine, I want to tell you, that spine was difficult. We all wanted it. As soon as we tried it, it did not skate like I thought it would.
When you see us doing airs over it, it's blind faith that we're gonna land okay.
What, the fucking spine? No, I didn't touch that thing.
I knew when we watched that video that it was something special. That was those skaters, that team, had the capability to mold themselves to that ramp, you know, and make that ramp fun.
People really liked it. I was shocked. I didn't think it would resonate so far. You know, the message is, yeah, it's cheesy, but there's substance there, you know, about just enjoying the act of skateboarding.
My whole memory about the whole thing is from start to finish in production, it seemed like it was 3 weeks. You know, it took a week and a half to build the ramp and a week and a half to film it, and then it was torn down. Stacy was very adamant about that ramp getting torn down. And he was like, I don't care how you build it because we're gonna tear it down.
It seemed excessive that they would build something like that and that it was just gonna be gone after the shoot. But I understood the sense of exclusivity for the video, like that it would be this crazy thing that we all got to skate and then no one else got to try it. And so it was like there was this mythological element to it.
Well, I mean, I think the easiest way to say it is here we are 30 years later and we're doing the same thing. We're building the ramp in secret, and here we are, like, you know, chuckling that nobody knows about it. You know, finally, after 30 years of ramp finally gets built, and we're gonna see these guys ride this ramp again.
We have only gotten together to talk about Bones Brigade days. We have never gotten together since, really, like Animal Chin to skate together. We're gonna go up there in a couple days and ride it. That's unbelievable to me, that we're gonna ride the Chin ramp again.
Well, I mean, I just can't believe it that we're actually standing on the finished ramp. This is the last day of ramp construction. We haven't even cleaned up yet. My hands are still like crusty. And here we are doing this interview, and I just can't believe after 30 years we're actually going to see the Bones Brigade here riding the ramp, you know? I mean, I can't believe it. The whole crew's going to be here. You know, Lance and Steve and Tony and Mike. And Tommy's even coming in finally after 30 years. We're going to see it. It's going to go down.